Today on the Happy House, I'm going to show you some fun tips and ideas that you can use when teaching the music in primary. These can be used all year round. Then for Valentine's Day, I'm going to show you a delicious meal that I whipped up for my family that was pretty simple. Don't let this fancy dinner photo fool you into thinking a lot of work went on behind the scenes. Not the case. And last, I'm going to show you a Valentine family favorite. Yes, this tradition has been going on for years in our family thanks to my mom. Stick around as I share more, all right now on the Happy House. So this week, because it's Valentine's Day on Friday, and we happen to be singing the song I Feel My Savior's Love, which was not planned. That's just the song that happened to be on the schedule, so it was perfect. So because we were going to learn I Feel My Savior's Love, we decided to do a love theme. I did a heart theme, and we had hearts up on the board. Each of the hearts were numbered, and we also had this key right here for the music. I had a bigger heart and had all the songs listed, the options, which is verse 1, verse 2, and verse 3 of I Feel My Savior's Love, and then choose the right, because that happened to be what the lesson was about this week for Come Follow Me, was making choices, agency, choosing the right. So we sang choose the right way, and then learning the second verse of I Will Walk with Jesus and reviewing the first verse. So this was our music key. I made a pair of dice, let me show you. I wrapped up 2 packaging boxes in white wrapping paper, and then we just colored the dots to make the dice. So I would choose a stick out of the cup, and the child would come up and take the dice and lift them up high and toss them across the room. And whatever number the red dice landed on showed us what number we were going to be singing, so what song we would be singing and what verse. And then the pink die would tell them what heart they got to choose off the board. And so they could have a choice. I had a few number 1s, a few number 2s, a few number 3s. That way they felt like they had a choice. And on the back of each heart was either an example out of 1st and 2nd Nephi of someone faced with a choice. And so we talked about what they chose and if there was a blessing attached to that choice. Or it was a question about their own personal life. So it was a scenario. If you were faced in this situation, what would you do? And then we would just quickly talk about what they would choose. And I was really happy because just about every time the kids made a win-win choice. So it was a win-win for everyone in the scenario. My daughter Cambry happened to draw a picture of the Savior yesterday, so she let me use that for my lesson. I hung that up on the board. She's 9 years old and it looks amazing. And then just to add to the hearts, I hung up a string of red heart lights and just hung them over the top of the board. And at the very end, I told them, because they did such a good job helping me feel my Savior's love through the music and how good they sang, that I had something for them. And I stood by the door, and inside I just had a bunch of heart stickers. And I told them they could pick a heart sticker and that they could wear it on their shirt. And that later that day, if someone asked them, oh, why are you wearing a heart sticker? They could say, because today I feel my Savior's love. They could use that as an opportunity to bear testimony of their Savior Jesus Christ and the love that He has for everyone. So anyways, it was a really awesome day. It was a great way to tie in the theme of love and Valentine's Day, in with learning the new song, I Feel My Savior's Love, in with the Come Follow Me lesson, which was about choices and agency and choosing the right. And I just tied it all together by saying, you know what, when you choose the right, when you make good choices, you feel good. And when you feel good, you definitely feel your Savior's love. You are blessed, other people are blessed, and so in return, you help other people feel their Savior's love. So anyways, it was an awesome day today, and can't wait for next week. Hi guys. Okay, I just want to share another really simple idea. It's something so easy, and the kids loved it. So yesterday, I hired my children to make a bunch of different conducting batons. As you can see here, they made lots of different kinds. I helped make a couple. But we used different things that we had laying around the house, from balloon sticks, which we just wrapped ribbon around, to some Valentine decorations from some floral arrangements that we happen to have, from chopsticks that we just painted, to straws, and even my son's drumsticks. Here's one of my favorites. My daughter made this one. It's kind of fun. It has a little ribbon. But anyways, I had a whole vase of conducting batons. Then I just had the jar lit up inside to create some fun ambiance. So it was sort of like a game. I left it at church, but I had a little heart pillow, sort of like a beanbag. When we started with the first song, they started passing around the heart pillow. So it was sort of like hot potato. I told them the heart is hot, so you gotta pass it fast. So they passed it as we sang the songs. And then when the song would come to an end, whoever was holding the heart got to be the next person to come up to lead the music and pick a conducting baton. And it was fun for them to look through and pick one they wanted. Then we pulled out the little stepping stool underneath the podium, and they stood in the center of the room on top of the stool leading the music. It was so fun for them to watch. So right before each song, I quickly showed them how to lead that song, and then they took it from there. And I explained, you know, I need to hold up the words. I'm also going to be doing actions to the songs, so I need help leading the music. And it was funny because my daughter actually told me when we couldn't find the little heart pillow, she said, "Mom, use this little purple ball. The kids will love it." And I looked at this and I thought, okay, that looks like a virus. And we could either pass around a virus or we could pass around some love. We could pass around a heart. So anyways, I shared that with the kids and they thought that was funny, and some of them actually wanted to pass around the virus, but we just used the heart. Anyways, we were able to get through 4 songs doing this activity and the kids loved it. It was a lot of fun. So you could use this any time of year, and you could just use a normal beanbag, or you could pass around something that has to do with what you're singing about or learning about, or the theme of the season of the year. It's so easy, it's so simple. Didn't cost any money to put this together, and I just wanted to share. Okay, so tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And today is my last day of preparations where I can get everything ready, everything that I need for the big day. So I have to pick up things for people. I've got to get stuff for my kids, got to get stuff for our dinner tomorrow. So I'm on my way to pick up Tatum from kindergarten, and unbeknownst to him, we're gonna head off on a shopping adventure. So we'll let you know how it goes. Is that a penguin?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
And this is the stuff I got.
Let me see.
Got a card.
That is so cute.
Wait, does it say Kaya?
That's cute.
Does it say Kaya?
Uh-huh.
Oh, then that was kind of... Oh,
That's cool.
and there's the front and
I like that. That's nice.
this. Oh, what is this? Do you want to read it? Hey, the balloon.
A balloon.
Is that a card? Oh, and this is the last page. Oh, look.
Let me see it. It's one of those little... Yeah, those are fun. You can play that all day today. Just like
And
that.
also, I want to show you. I got the ring pop from Brea. That's my favorite person.
You got a ring pop? Well, I dragged this kid around and we went to so many stores, but he did such a good job helping me decide. He really is a great shopping partner, and we got everything we needed for the big day. This is the first year that my kids have not had any Valentine parties at their school, so the parents couldn't volunteer to help because there wasn't anything planned. So the teachers just wanted to keep it low-key. They are passing out Valentines, but in one of my daughter's classes, it was totally optional. You didn't even have to bring Valentines, didn't even have to make a Valentine box. So they're really keeping it low-key this year, which is fine by me because that's more time for me at home to get ready for our dinner. Alright, so I'm on my way right now to pick up the food for Valentine's Day. We usually do the same thing every year. We have this tradition where we do steak, so we have a really nice steak dinner, and I get my steaks fresh from Dawn's Meats. I don't hold back, I get the very best, and then we always top our steaks off with some garlic shrimp and some butter sauce. Then I always have a salad on the side, but usually we do like a fancy baked potato. And I think this year I'm gonna switch out the baked potato just because I'm trying not to have so many carbs and starches. I'm gonna switch it out for a soup. I'm gonna do a creamy asparagus soup, and then we're gonna have some French bread on the side for everybody. So I think that should be great. I picked up some really nice sparkly drinks at World Market yesterday, and I'm excited because they're different grape flavors with floral accents, so they're gonna taste really yummy. Then we're going to make my mom's famous Valentine's dessert. So stick around for that, it's gonna be delicious. So the girls are gonna be home any minute, and I've got to hurry and set up this table so that it's ready for them, so it has their Valentines on it, because I'm gonna surprise them as soon as they walk in the door. These are the flowers I got from Manuel. Wow, Tatum, that's a nice Valentine.
I wanted a card while I was at the store.
You did. What do you tell Dad?
Thanks. Here's a treat from my friend DJ. It's what I got from Dad. This.
Let me see. Let me see.
I just got this from Dad. I got a Rice Krispie treat from DJ.
That's so awesome.
How come you're home before Paisley?
Because Paisley is walking home with Katie.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Good. They smell like wildflowers. That's what wildflowers smell. They smell like snow.
Come here,
Come
Ida.
get some love from Daddy. Come get Daddy love.
Yay!
What is it?
Black licorice.
Yay.
My favorite.
I almost got that for
Do
you.
I hate it?
We would
Dad,
have gotten
are
it.
you going
You'll all
to
get my
different
Valentine's
churches
bread
so I
at dinner.
can people?
What?
Are you going to different churches so I know your Valentine's?
It's in order of age.
Whoa!
From Dad to the youngest.
So this is mine?
Yes.
Is this mine?
Babe,
Wait, this
That's
is
Tatum's.
is it money?
Is this mine?
Tatum's a
I
little
got
monster. So he gets monster chocolate because he's a monster.
That mascara? Oh no, that's lipstick. What's this? Hey, is this a Mario? Oh, it's a heart lipstick.
Oh, I think I remember these chocolate boxes, I think.
What's this?
Before.
What's this? I wanted those hot nachos. Oh, it's a gel face mask. I wanted those hot things.
I just had to make it fair.
Isn't that the one that hurts you in your face? Yours is lip gloss, mine's lipstick. Mom, what's like? Is this like the gel face mask that like dries?
I don't know if it dries.
Oh, what's
Probably
this?
It's a rose
This
one.
is mascara, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
It says lipstick.
Yes. I got mascara. Thanks. Let me open up this.
This is heart shaped.
Did you get yours, honey?
No, I didn't know.
Not fatty, Mom.
No one can ever eat these. They're Dad's.
That's right.
Unless he gives me one.
Tatum, come smell your lotion.
But you can't bribe me with money.
Tatum, smell your lotion.
For $2, you can have half of
This is
them.
coconut smell. Gabe, smell Tatum's lotion. Oh yeah, you already.
So I got this cheese at Smith's, and it has flowers on it. It's like a floral cheese, and I thought how perfect for Valentine's Day to eat flowers. So we're not just gonna look at our flowers and think they're pretty, we're gonna eat them. Okay, so I'm getting started on my mom's cake. Now this is a traditional Valentine's recipe, something that my mom always made growing up and we loved it. So my mom still makes it to this day. Gabe loves it. Tell him if it's good on a scale of 1 to 10.
10.
It's 10, right? Yeah, you didn't see the little dance he just did
like
behind the
almost-
camera. He just got so excited when I said I was making it. So we make this about every other year. But I'm gonna show you the recipe. I'm gonna actually show it to you, so if you wanna freeze this and write it down, this is what we're gonna be making. It's almond cherry cake. This is a cookbook that my mom made for us. She gave this to us as a Christmas gift, and it has all of her prized recipes in it. But here is the second part to that recipe. and I'm gonna show you how I make it. So the secret to a super soft cake is sour cream or yogurt. I always like to add about 8 ounces or a cup to every cake recipe, to every cake mix, and that's all you need. And then I always like to add real Mexican vanilla. Those are my 2 secrets, my 2 tips to make any cake amazing. Prepare your favorite white cake mix or white cake recipe, and then add 1 cup of sour cream. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of real Mexican vanilla. Now, if you're wanting to keep your cake batter white, you're going to use this Watkins vanilla powder so it doesn't turn your batter yellow like vanilla does. But today I don't mind, so I used my egg yolks and liquid vanilla. Alright, next you're going to spray a baking sheet with oil. Then go ahead and pour your batter into the pan. You don't need to worry about spreading it too evenly because this batter's pretty thin and it will spread itself. Next, you're going to add your cherry filling. Now, I believe this recipe calls for just 1 can, but I like anywhere from 2 to 3 cans because you just can't have enough cherries. Am I right? Afterwards, I like to take a spoon and just sort of spread them around so they're evenly because you want cherries in every bite. So after baking it at 350 degrees for about 27 minutes, this is what it looks like. It smells so good. You guys, the only thing that this compares to is heaven. Now while that's cooling, you're going to make your icing. I take about 1 cup of powdered sugar and I add evaporated milk. That's the secret to great icing. Just about 2 tablespoons. This evaporated milk gives it a great flavor, and as you can see, with just 2 tablespoons, this is about the consistency you're going to get. But I want mine just a little bit thinner, so I add more. Had I been doing cinnamon rolls, that would have been a great consistency, but this is how I want it for drizzling over cake. Now here's a secret ingredient that's not written into the recipe, almond extract. My mom uses it, we love it, and it has this cherry flavor that just adds to the icing and really makes it what it is. Anytime I make an icing or a frosting, I always add a pinch of salt to bring balance to the sweetness and enhance the flavor. And now we're ready to drizzle on that icing. Don't be shy, you want this on every square inch of this cake. This is so luscious. It reminds me of those yogurt whips. When you take a bite of this and you put it in your mouth, it seriously just melts on your tongue like a mousse. This cake is unlike anything you'll ever have. It's amazing. And the final touch is going to be your almonds. You just want to sprinkle those all across the top of the cake, and they add just a little bit of crunch, which just brings all of it together. It just has such a nice texture and it's just so delicious. And then of course you have to serve it with vanilla ice cream. And here's the final result dished up on a plate. Yum! That's all I can say. Next, we're going to broil our steaks. So you're just going to take a broiler pan and fill it with a little bit of water. Then place your steaks on top and spread them out evenly. Here's a little local seasoning that I like to use, but really you can make this yourself. All it is brown sugar, pepper, a little bit of spice, cayenne pepper, and some hickory seasoning and sea salt. And I like to add onion and garlic powder to that mix. If you don't have hickory seasoning, you can also add some of this liquid smoke, which does give it a mesquite flavor. But when you're broiling your steaks, this flavor is going to, for the most part, cook out, so it's not going to be so strong. So it's not going to drown out the natural flavor of your steaks. I love it. Now while those are in the oven, we're going to get started on our soup. This is cream of asparagus soup that I picked up at World Market. It's a German brand, and what I love about this soup is it's so easy to make. All you add is water. That's it. And it tastes amazing. So this is one of my absolute favorite soups ever. Just so easy to make. It is so delicious. If I'm gonna make an instant soup, this is what I pick. It has dried, chopped asparagus already in it, and the flavor is so amazing. It really does taste very strongly of asparagus. and it smells amazing. Now I'm a semi-homemade kind of lady, so I like to make some things from scratch, but to save time and make life easier, I like to add in things that are already made or that just require very little preparation. So you can have a big old fancy dinner, but it didn't take as much work as if you were to make the entire thing from scratch, which I have done before. It can be exhausting. All right, a little tip with this soup. So I only bought 2 packets and I felt like that wasn't quite enough. So I added about a cup of milk and then I added some sea salt. And as you can see, I have way more soup now. It's thick, it's creamy, still tastes really good. So it's definitely an option, but I always recommend buying what you need so you get the exact flavor as it's supposed to be, but this will work too if you're ever in a pinch. Next, add 2 pounds of shrimp to a buttered pan. Sprinkle in some garlic powder and let that shrimp simmer until it's golden. And next, add some sea salt to bring out that flavor. And now to my favorite flavors of oil, truffle infused and Meyer lemon. I get both of these at World Market. Drizzle both flavors of oil into your pan. You don't want to be too shy on your oil because this is what's going to make up the base of the sauce that goes over your steak. And last, you're going to add some chopped chives to your shrimp. Lighthouse is my favorite brand of chives, but of course I prefer fresh when it's in season. So the combinations of these oils are amazing. I'll get people that'll ask me sometimes, what is truffle? When I think of truffle, I think of chocolates. Are you putting chocolates in your food? And no. Truffles are sort of like a mushroom. They are a fungus and they grow under the earth. So they actually have truffle sniffing dogs who will go out and sniff them and find them, and that's how people used to locate them and harvest them. It's known as truffle hunting. But nowadays they're not just in Europe, we also have them here in the United States in many different states, so they're so much easier to get. But I believe that's what chocolates were named after. When you think of chocolate truffles, the balls resemble these truffles right here, but they're definitely much prettier. Truffles are sort of a delicacy. Now they have like truffle farms. People are growing them, and so they're easier to get. They're not so expensive. So you'll see like truffle flavored potato chips, truffle fries at restaurants, truffle infused oil because it's not as expensive. But it used to be really pricey and really hard to find. But they have this velvety, buttery garlic flavor. And with this Meyer lemon infused olive oil, you don't need to put lemon juice or lemon zest on your shrimp. It is so lemony and it tastes so good. And you guys, one of my favorite herbs to cook with is chives. We usually grow them fresh in the garden, but because it's winter, I have to buy them dried. But I buy the Lighthouse brand and I just love them. Not only for their flavor, but they're so bright and green, they brighten up any dish. Okay, so normally I would want to do like a sweet balsamic vinaigrette, like a honey balsamic vinaigrette, but I don't have time to make that right now, so I'm gonna fall back on my favorite dressing. I think I share this in just about every video, but I get this at Smith's, and just so you know, it's hiding on the very bottom shelf in the produce section where the nuts are, so no one ever finds it. So there's always a bottle for me, but you have to shake it. That's the secret, is I brought it to family parties and people don't shake it, and then they just get oil on their salad. So I just took some mixed greens, sliced up some radishes, and halved some heirloom tomatoes. And I love to half my tomatoes because I like the juices and the flavors from the tomatoes to blend in with my salad. I'll just add some sea salt, some cracked pepper, and we are ready to go. So when those steaks come out of the oven, be ready to spoon your shrimp all over. And be sure to get some of that garlic sauce onto your steak. Now I thought it would be fun to serve our soup in these little ramekin dishes. So we had those on our plate with the steaks, and now we're ready to dish up the rest of our food. We also put a loaf of French bread in the oven and we buttered and salted that, and that will go nicely with our soup.
brace yourselves. Brace yourselves.
That's so cool.
Okay, now we know how to do it.